rolling down Interstate 40, heading out to try to do some turkey hunting the next couple of days out around this side of Amarillo, Texas. Got back from the race last night. Big congratulations to Denny Hamlin for winning the O'Reilly Auto Parts race, NASCAR race at Texas Motor Speedway yesterday. Big thank you to all my friends that came by. Hundreds of you came by and visited there in the O'Reilly display at the Midway at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's a lot of fun. But we're on here right now to talk about what happened at Grand Lake. What went wrong, what went right. Before I start, fantastic congratulations to Jeremy Lawyer. Jeremy did an amazing job at that tournament. You know, he was the only guy that caught 20 bass. He caught a 5-fish limit every single day of the tournament. I might be wrong, but I looked down through the standings. I didn't see anybody else that caught 5 bass every day. And I'd never caught a single limit. I caught 4 bass each day of the 3 days I got to fish, the first 2 days. Then we cut back to the top 30 and got to fish the 3rd day. I did get 5 bites the 2nd, 5 bites the 3rd day. So I had a chance to weigh in 14 out of 15 possibility, which would have obviously got me fishing another day. Who knows what might have happened that day. But congratulations to Jeremy Lawyer. He's $125,000 better off today, and he did just a fantastic job winning that tournament. Absolutely fantastic job. Practice was frustrating for me. It was frustrating for just about everybody. First day of practice, I get 1 bite, and I got all my bites in practice from Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait by Lucky Strike, a spinnerbait I designed for Lucky Strike. I caught them on solid white using gold and chartreuse combination blades, round blades, not willow leaf blades. Very, very important to be using the round blades. Created a lot of vibration. The water was dingy to dirty or muddy, and it was very important to create that situation with a lot of vibration on those blades. I caught the fish at 2 different places. The first day I caught them in the same creek, but the first day I caught them on one side of the creek. I set up both sides of the creek and found fish on both sides on purpose because the wind was going to change from the south to the north during that tournament, which it did. And also I knew that if I did well the first day of the tournament, a lot of people would probably see me and I might get covered up with boats the 2nd day and cause the water to become more complicated, and it happened. And so that left the other side of the creek to fish the 2nd day and or the 3rd and 4th day. And actually the 3rd day when we cut back to 30, I had almost no competition on that bait. So everything worked out really, really well. The plan was perfectly executed with the exception of those 2 fish that did not get buttoned up. That was the difference in making the top 10 and not making the top 10. First day of practice, Chris and I get 1 bite. We don't get that bite. It's a 4-pound fish out from under a log. And I had my hooks covered up on my spinnerbait, so I did not catch any fish in practice. Just counting the bites. 1 bite, and it didn't happen until 6:30 in the evening. So we get to practice until roughly 7:30, 4, 5, or 36, depending on the day. And so at 6:30 in the evening, I get 1 bite. Second day of practice, I get 2 bites, but get this, both of those bites are after tournament hours. Both of those bites after 6 o'clock in the evening. Tournament's over at 4:20. No matter what flight you're in, you're through by 4:20. So we get 2 bites that day, and that's all. 2 bites after tournament hours. The 3rd day, we had a tremendous amount of fog. I delayed putting in until about probably 2 hours after normal takeoff. Just Chris and I sat there on the boat ramp and held hands for a couple hours and watched the fog. A lot of the guys just went out and run in the fog. It didn't matter, they don't really care. But we waited until the fog began to clear up a little bit. We got out there and we started down this bank, and really in a very short period of time, I had 3 bites on my spinnerbait. We fished all day long without another bite until 6 o'clock that evening. At 6 o'clock that evening, between 6 o'clock and 7:30, I get 5 more bites. So I've had 8 bites on the spinnerbait that day. Now that's which gives me 11 bites during the tournament practice. 8 of those 11 bites are outside of tournament hours. Only the 3 bites that I got early that morning right after the fog lifted were in tournament hours. So that's where I decided to fish my tournament, was in that creek where I got 10 of my 11 bites in one single creek. First day of the tournament starts out really good, 8-10. I go back to where I missed a fish. It looked in the neighborhood of about 7 pounds. I went right directly to that fish. Nobody else started in that pocket. One guy started on the other side of the pocket, pretty decent sized pocket, so I'm a long way away from him. And I get to go right to that very bush. The water dropped about 1 foot, so there wasn't much water on that bush. and that bass wasn't on that bush. So I did not catch that fish. I fished a little bit of that pocket, let the other guy have the entire pocket for the rest of the time, because all I really wanted to fish in that pocket was that one bush. I go to the other side where I got about 5 bites. The last evening of practice right before dark, and there's fish are still there. I catch one at 8:10, I catch another one at 8:20. The one at 8:20 I catch right behind a boat dock over 2 cables, and it's a circus. It's a rodeo getting that fish out of there, but I finally get it netted. It's a 6-pound bass. So 8:20 in the morning, I've got a 2.5 pounder and a 6 pounder. I mean, I'm really off to a good start. Catch another fish at 9 o'clock, a spot out from under a boat dock. I don't get another bite until 2 o'clock. I catch that fish. It's another nice 2-pound fish. And so that's my 4 fish for the first day, just under 14 pounds, sitting in 29th place. I'm in good shape. I couldn't have really done anything any differently that day that I think that would have been any better. I just simply did not get 5 bites. The second day, when the wind changed and come hard out of the north, totally different type day than we fished the day before, I fished the other bank, just went to the other bank. And during that day, I again catch a couple fish right off the bat. Throughout the day, I catch a couple more fish throughout the morning. At 11:30, I've got 4 fish in the boat, weigh about 11 or 12 pounds, so I'm in pretty good shape. All I need to do is get that 5th bite. Finally get that bite about 2 o'clock. This big bass just crushed my spinnerbait right up on top of the water. Now, here's another thing. The first day I was fishing that spinnerbait, slow rolling that spinnerbait. The second day, they would not bite it that way. That's why I never caught a fish till about 9:20. First fish at 9:20. The day before, I had 3 at that time of the day. But I put the bait up on top, started fishing the bait a lot faster, creating a lot of weight, more vibration, and they started hammering it. And still a hard bite, really a hard bite, but I catch, I get this 5th fish, my limit fish, and this fish is at least 4 pounds. I'm gonna go from about 11 pounds up to 15 and probably jump into the top 10 or 12 in the tournament. And the fish somehow did not get the spinnerbait. I bowed up on the fish, felt the fish, for a second, and it came off. I get my spinnerbait in, and the dress is pulled down on the spinnerbait. My skirt is pulled all the way down. I'm fishing a 1/2 ounce Jimmy Houston Legend spinnerbait, and I've got a big 4/0 trailer hook on there. You cannot hardly touch that bait without something steel hitting you, one of those 2 hooks. Somehow that bass grabbed a hold of that skirt, had a hold of it tight and long enough to pull the skirt down without getting a single hook in her. Now, the first day I caught 1 out of the 4 fish on a trailer hook. Second day I caught 1 out of the 4 on a trailer hook. That fish kept me place, but that kept me from being qualified for the top 30. Third day I get out there, and it's really bad. Thunder, lightning, wind, rain. It's just a horrible day. Cold. It's down around 39, 38 degrees, and chill temperature way down in the low 30s. It's just really a miserable day. We know it's going to be a hard bite, but doggone, they keep on biting. And I catch a couple fish in that pocket. I go back and try to catch that big one. I went right back to try to catch that big one that I missed the day before. Plus, that's the same pocket that I had the big 7-pounder hit. So I know there's 2 big fish in that pocket. If I can just make those 2 fish bite, I'm probably going to fish in the top 10. I don't get either one of those fish to bite, but I do get 2 keepers to bite in there. I'll go to another pocket, very similar pocket, but I hadn't caught a fish out of it the entire tournament. Doggone if I don't catch 2 fish there. You know what time it is? It's 11:30 in the morning. I've got 4 hours to catch 1 bass. I fish and fish and fish and fish. I go run all the traps, again. I finally get that bite about 2 o'clock. And it's a nice, solid 4-pound fish. But this fish, now normally when you run that spinnerbait up high, as you get the bait right on top of the fish, they will come straight up and come down and grab that bait. And it's just almost, if they get that bait in their mouth, it's almost impossible to not hook them good. It's almost impossible to lose those fish. But
we're not connected, hang on.
So I think the biggest thing I did wrong was not find it have gone to. I don't know where Jeremy creeks on. These fish were there. I think probably the 6-pounder I caught the first day of the tournament was not there the last day of practice, although that area produced, and that produced other fish. I think if I'd gone back out to the last day, it was a possibility some more fish would have replaced. But it was, all in all, it was a great tournament. Just wished I'd had 3 days in one major creek. It just doesn't make sense to me to leave that creek. But it's a great tournament. Looking forward to Lake Cherokee. We'll be talking about practice days. We'll be shooting some stuff out there every day. Tell me what.
Yep, we're live again. It's live.
Are we back live again? We don't want to be live again. Get off here. Punch that off button. Turn that. Western Oklahoma. We drive through these hills in Western Oklahoma. I think you're supposed to sit in one spot and do all this. One of these days, 100 years from now, we're going to have perfect cell service everywhere in the whole world.